Yeah, when I get back to town, I might... I can't, because I have to be a red wizard to cast warp. Damn. That sure would be nice now. Come on. Thank you, Moosh. We don't like paralyzed around these parts. You know, I never went down here. It is a dead end. Okay. I should probably keep the coral sword. Although, against aquatics, I can't imagine it's going to be useful by the time I get to the water temple. I'll still keep it just in case. Chink. Run, please. Come on, Raz. Mitts and Moosh. Mitts, don't let me down. You. Oh, no. Thank you. It's amazing how often they throw enemies that paralyze at you. Such a brutal debuff. That all being said, what did the Wraiths do? I don't remember. They had an ability. I think they did they paralyze too? I don't remember. All that being said, I still think Raz has never been paralyzed. I don't know, maybe black belts are immune to it or something? Maybe he's just got really high status resist? Unclear at this point, but yeah, he has not yet been paralyzed. I'm still blown away by how weak that vampire was. I didn't hit him for very much. It was what, 3 hits and he was dead? And they weren't even strong hits. Like 3 hits of 70? That is so weird. There's something fishy going on with that. Too many. Thank you. This isn't the... Is this the way out? I think this is right. Damn it. Might just be faster to fight him. Ah, poisons. Damn you, poison. Thunk. It's a very satisfying sound. So going back to your game selection there, your game preferences, RTS is unfortunately one that I can't play RTS games. I very much dislike when I have to control more than one character. And I say that like actively control. Obviously I'm controlling 4 characters here. Doesn't really feel like that. But like in an RTS game or even like CRPGs, although I did really enjoy Pathfinder Kingmaker, which was nice. But since I was able to make it through that, I'm hopeful that I'll be able to try some of them out. But even like historically games like Baldur's Gate and stuff like that, where you just have a small party, I don't like it. I just don't like having multiple things. I would just want to have one. Same thing for like Darkest Dungeon. I will never play through Darkest Dungeon because I do not want to maintain a roster of heroes. Don't like it. Don't want to do it. It just bothers me at a core level somewhere. So because of that, I can't stand RTS. Which is unfortunate, because growing up I had plenty of friends that loved StarCraft and Warcraft 3, and I just could never get into them. It is by far, without a doubt, not even a close comparison, my least favorite genre. But, you're right. I wish I could like it. For the same reason I like Dota. skill cap is amazingly high. Amazingly high skill cap. Which is something that I like the concept of. Being able to just pour hours and hours into a game and always be getting better. Always be learning. Not to like, you know what? I played the game for 100 hours. I'm not really going to get any better. I'm pretty much the top of my game here, sort of thing. That's not the case for that, right? You're always going to learn something new. I think that's so cool. For me right now, that game is Dota, and I don't put very much time into Dota because I don't know why. I love Dota. I play it a lot. Every time I play it, I enjoy it. I think the big part of the reason I don't put more time is I spent a lot of time playing World of Warcraft, and I missed a ton of games. Because, you know, the MMO thing. Once you're playing an MMO, it's hard to play other things. Because it soaks up all the time. And so, anytime I'm playing a game like that now, I feel bad. Because I'm not doing other things. I'm just devoting all my time to one game. I don't know. A decade or whatever of playing World of Warcraft, either full-time or on and off, it just made me feel yucky when I play too much of one game. I love MMOs. I still could. If I could get past that feeling, I could dive into. It'd almost certainly be World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy XIV. Both of those are very interesting to me. I could 100% dive in and just not come back out. You know, level my way up, find a raiding guild. I love raiding, which is the problem. I love high-end raiding. And trying to play an MMO without raiding doesn't work for me. I've tried in the past, and it lasts for a few days, and then I start looking for guilds that raid in a time frame that suits mine. And you're not wrong, Trappist. I am making crazy amounts of gil right now. FF11 is an MMO, you are correct. FF11 is an old school hardcore MMO though. Mitsuneto actually played Final Fantasy XI very actively when it was still popular. Because it still plays. I think people still play 11. So it's one of those where they had boss fights that literally lasted 24 hours. And people would just, huge groups of people would just come, fight when they could fight, and then they'd have to leave while the fight's still going on, and just, you know, crazy stuff like that, like EverQuest back in the day. Which EverQuest is still active too, I shouldn't say back in the day. Also, as I understand it, the story for Final Fantasy XI, kind of lame. Not a whole lot there. Yeah, just a very hardcore RPG. There's no... The reason I would never do that on stream for something like this, because there's no fast way to get through it. Right? There's no... Like Final Fantasy XIV, I could boost myself to max level, which also gives you high level gear. Which is going to make the game easy, though it does do level scaling. So it's not like I'd be max level, just one-shotting everything. It does scale down your level to appropriate level content, but you're still going to be strong. Which is fine, because I'd be looking for it just to play through the story and not actually do any of the side quests and the grindy stuff. You can't do that in 11. If you're going to play it, you're in for the long run, and I'm not going to do that. I might dedicate some time to talking about it a little bit. Maybe reviewing the story or something like that. I haven't decided, but definitely won't be playing it. I did try playing it back in the day. It was actually the first MMO I ever tried. That might not be true. I don't remember if it came out before or after World of Warcraft. I don't remember. But I do think it... I believe it was on PS2. I think so. At any rate, Final Fantasy XIV is a great game, though. And it's always interested me because I read a lot that the story for Final Fantasy XIV is phenomenal. Like, it is a top class or top level Final Fantasy story that you would get in a single-player game is just in an MMO package, which intrigues me because like World of Warcraft's got a good story too, but it's not. I don't know. I wouldn't try to claim that you get like a single-player experience out of the MMO, which is what I hear that you get out of 14. And that's what's driving me to want to do that as part of this marathon. Just to see if it lives up to the hype that I've heard about. How much gold? What are we at for gold? 78,000. Damn. We could buy that super expensive suit of armor for Trappist. By the way, Trappist, I did see your comment. You are correct. Trappist and Mitz have both yet to die. Nobody's died tonight, so that's nice. That's not true. I guess we did have a TPK against the zombies. So that's not true. Trappist, you did die. Or not zombies, the mummies. You died to a pack of mummies. The whole party did. That's because they cheated and they put the entire party to sleep before I got a chance to do anything. We're almost out. It's a lot of gargoyles. I think when I get out, I'm in a cottage, and I'm just going to keep going without going to town yet. So we'll continue going west. Go through that cave over there, see if we can't feed the Titan or whatever it is, the Star Ruby. And I don't know what that does for us, unfortunately. Nice crit, Raz. We're probably getting fairly close to level 16 too, I would imagine. Let's get our spells back. Pop our last cottage. Whew, level 14. Crushing it. Also, cannot forget tonight that we have to save, hard save at the end of the night. Cannot save with end with a memo save. You know, I'm really happy that I got the new computer and that everything works out. I kind of wish I'd gotten a chair though. This thing is not comfortable. Since I'm going to be playing a long time with a controller, I should like get a Barca lounger or something and move it in here. That's not going to happen. Make a chair out of duct tape. I mean, does that count if I just wrap my current chair in duct tape and call it a duct tape chair? So I feel like making a chair entirely out of duct tape would be difficult. Even if I wasn't overweight, which I am, I still think it'd be difficult to make a duct tape chair that would be able to support me. Alright, what's in here? Titan's Cave. Oh man, we have to fight here too? Warg Wolf. Okay. Difficult but terrible. Sounds about right. Sounds about right. Now, at some point, I do need to get an actual chair. I've had this thing for 9 years? 9 years? 10 years? Something like that. It's been with us for several moves. And it's not very comfortable anymore. Which, I didn't notice it that much before I started working from home and streaming from home and spending a lot of time in this chair. Here's your Star Ruby, friend. Crunch, crunch, doop. Nothing better than rubies. You're welcome. I'm glad I could provide you a meal. Oh, he's gone. Gonskis. All right. What's up? That's a lot of tarantulas. These are annoying because they don't do hardly any damage. They're worth very little gil and XP, but they poison. And they make you fight a lot of them. It's difficult to get through without getting poisoned at least once. So, I don't remember the Titan Cave. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm assuming I'm only trying to get through the mountain to talk to whoever that sage was. I'm assuming that's my sole purpose for coming here. But I don't actually remember. We need to explore the southern part of that cave because there might be something down there. There's just another cave down here though. I'm so confused. I don't remember this. I do seem to recall that the early part of the game starts off kind of slow, and then once you start going on the crystals, the game picks up pace really fast. I think. Unless there's some extra stuff, because I know like there's an ice cave and you have to get the rat's tail, so never mind. I guess there is side content, or not side content, but I don't know, whatever, doesn't matter. I can't talk coherently today. Check the pots, nothing in there. We found the sage. What's the sage going to do for us? He's going to answer all of our questions. That's what I was told. I don't even know what my questions are. I already know the meaning to life. What's the meaning of life? It's 42. The vampire was a mere servant of the real culprits blocking the flow of the earth crystal's power. He's hiding deeper down. Take this staff and use it to probe beyond the vampire's chamber. There we go. That's why. The earth rod. Well, before we go back into the earth cave. Damn, we're going to be running short on time. Before we go back to the earth cave, we will definitely stop through and restock. Someone did say earth rod. Why, Prak? Do you have an earthen rod? I don't even know what that means. That's so much paralysis. Analysis paralysis. Yep. Yep. Take it one step further and say, stick the earthen rod in the earthen cleft. That Black Widow had like no hit points. I was expecting a tougher fight. Alright. Back through the Titan Cave. I feel like it's unnecessary to make us fight here. Come on, Squeenix. Do we really need to be fighting in here? A lesser tiger. That's a lesser tiger. What does a greater tiger look like? Yeah, what is down here? A lot of wolves. That makes sense. I was thinking maybe it would have a bigger mane or a larger mohawk. Or maybe the mohawk, the older the tiger gets, the mohawk goes further down its back until even its tail has a mohawk, which would look ridiculous, by the way. My son's been obsessed with the idea of having a mohawk lately. You take an ass hawk. I mean, it's possible, right? If you're a hairy enough guy, you could have an ass hawk. Who's gonna stop you? You could pull it off. I believe that. We got a great axe and a mithril helm. Can you wear a mithril helm? You can't. Man, Trappist, you get all the best gear. Do you know that? All the best gear. Great axe. Not good as a mithril sword, though. A large battle axe. Well, dude, you can't have an ass hawk and not let people see it. That defeats the whole purpose. You'd have to live the rest of your life shirtless and with low-cut pants. You probably don't need to go full naked, right? As long as the pants stop like right by the crack, you'd be alright. Oh, no one would want you. Gotcha. Well, I mean, the thing is, if you say... You can't say you could pull off an ass hawk and also say that nobody wants to see it, right? Those two kind of have to go hand in hand. If you think you can pull it off, then people are going to want to see it, right? Otherwise, you're effectively not pulling it off. I think it'd just be uncomfortable. You'd never really be able to sit down, otherwise you would destroy it. Or I suppose you'd have to sit away from the back of the seat. Yeah, at any rate. My son's been talking about that a lot lately. He's 6. His hair is not long enough to have a mohawk right now. And it probably will never get long enough to have a mohawk. Or at least not for a while. He likes getting his hair cut. Because the ladies at the place we go to are fond of just letting him have as many suckers as he wants. Which he knows that when I'm sitting in the chair, I can't stop him from having as many suckers as he wants. So he loves getting his hair cut. You had a mohawk when you're... I'd be okay with... My wife wouldn't let him have a mohawk. Like, legitimately shaved on the sides and a mohawk in the middle. My wife would... That would not fly. Also, I suspect he might... He currently goes to a Christian school because... Well, we moved to the area, registration was done, and the county schools, which technically were zoned for a county school, the county schools where I live are awful. Very, very bad. And the city schools that are nearby that are actually good were all full. So, anyway, I suspect that the teachers there would also not approve of him going to school with a full mohawk. Maybe not. Maybe they'd be okay with it. But I suspect they wouldn't be happy about it. I'm hoping that next year we can get them into one of the city schools. One of them's particularly good. Although we've been warned that people have literally camped out overnight the day before registration in order to get their kids into the school because they don't want to have their kids go to the county schools. Because the county schools around here are super bad. So we'll see. I don't know. I mean, mohawks suck. True. But when you're 6, if you think they're cool, I don't know. Who am I to tell them no? Who am I to tell them no? You had a mohawk when you were 6. And I bet when you were 6, you loved every minute of that mohawk. And my son would be the same. So yes, I would tend to agree. I think the biggest problem is they have to be a lot of work to maintain the mohawk, right? Sleeping uncomfortable? Yeah, exactly. I guess that's a good point. Did you keep it? I don't know, whatever. I don't even know how that works. I guess I was thinking that you just had to rebuild your mohawk every morning. But maybe that's not the case. Maybe it's more like dreadlocks or whatever, where once you have it forever. And you see, I think my son would run into something similar. It's not a Mormon school, but still. I think it'd be kind of the similar. I think it'd be similar reaction. I'll tell you, my son's gonna be a handful when he's older. He gets into trouble frequently for talking and joking around. He's gonna be the class clown for his whole life. I can see it already. We will be having these conversations with teachers for years and years to come, which is crazy because it's funny how that stuff happens, because both my wife and I are pretty reserved. So it's crazy to see. And my daughter's pretty reserved as well. She gets kind of shy. She hasn't shaken. She's only 3, so she could still potentially shake that. But she's definitely more like personality-wise like my wife and I. My son, definitely not though. He is super outgoing, which is good. I mean, I think that for better or for worse, being extroverted is definitely better in this world than being introverted as far as being able to succeed in life. So it's good for him. It's just weird. It's funny how that stuff happens. In Trappist, I don't know if we had county schools in Iowa. I feel like we didn't. I feel like everything was a city school. But it's the same thing, right? Even city schools, it doesn't really matter that it's city or county school. It's just the fact that the schools themselves are underfunded. So you could have the same thing in a city, like a small city or whatever, that doesn't get enough funding. That just... Because that's the problem that the county schools have around here, is they don't get enough funding. I need to... Yeah, we need to go to Elfheim. So we're just going to take the boat there so we can go to the item shop. Oh, man. I don't know if we'll try to go take off the Lich. We don't have a ton of time left. Yeah. It's just they don't have enough funding. So I've heard horror stories like they can literally run out of money and the school just shuts down as the teachers don't work. And crazy shit like that. Like, how the hell does... How can that kind of stuff happen to a school that's full of children? It just boggles the mind. Regardless of whether or not it's that bad or if that was an exaggeration, if we have the means to make sure our kids get to better schools, then obviously we're going to do that. So, fun stuff. Even though at the kindergarten age, I'm not sure how much of a difference it would make. I'm all for having good foundations of education, but I don't know. Who knows? I think that's a big part of it, because Tennessee doesn't have state income tax, which is also crazy. On one end, it's super nice because that's a lot of additional money in every paycheck that I'm not losing, that I used to be losing in Iowa. But on the other end, that's a lot of money that the state's not bringing in. I don't know how they make up for it compared to other states. I don't know. It's just weird. It's weird not having state income tax. But yeah. Usually people are instantly against tax increases. Which, you know, it depends. I'm all for taxes if it's being spent in the right places. Which you can never be sure that that's going to happen, but... I know there are other states that don't have income tax. Like Florida, I think, is one that doesn't have state income tax as well. Well, Florida, I imagine, brings in plenty of money other places. Tennessee, I don't know where they make that up. Tennessee can't be as popular a destination for trips and stuff like that as Florida. I wouldn't imagine anyway. I don't know, maybe it is somehow. All right, let's go buy some stuff. Bad redneck comedies. Could be. Do people pay good money for that, though? You might be right. I feel like I need to stop selling some of this stuff. Although they didn't have, I don't know. I guess it doesn't really matter. Boom. $30 antidotes, and we'll buy 5 more of these because we got the money. Seems good. We'll go back and save in that other little town. God, I don't know if I have enough. We'll try. We can run through Terra Cave pretty quick. I don't remember how much is past that seal, though, is the problem.